Hi, and welcome back to Phoenician Priestess. Today we're diving into the collective love energy for November, which is a month packed with powerful astrological events that will have a profound impact on relationships. Whether you're single or in a relationship, these transits could bring transformation, introspection, passion, intimacy, and maybe even some big surprises. So let's explore the love landscape for November, beginning with the new moon in Scorpio. And if you've missed it, I have a very detailed new moon in Scorpio all signs forecast video. That was actually my very first video on this channel. Highly recommend watching it, as it will also give you very specific information regarding your chart. This is going to be a lot of deep information on multiple transits for the collective love energy. And then stay tuned on the channel, because then I'll be releasing more specific all signs forecasts regarding some of these transits and aspects. The other thing I was going to say is, if you are new to my channel, welcome. I do what is called, quote unquote, Western astrology. And I really combine it with a lot of ancient teachings, Hellenic tools, and Arabic tools as well. And the name Phoenician priestess comes from my heritage, and the Phoenicians were actually, according to many historians, the founders or the first users of astrology before they passed it along to the Greeks and Egyptians and Babylonians. So it's an honor to be here today and to be sharing a lot of ancient wisdom and astrology with you. Okay, without further ado, let's jump into it. So starting off with the new moon in Scorpio that happened on November 1st, the month kicked off with this bright, intense, transformative energy. And in this time in general is always a time for deep emotional renewal. Scorpio, as an archetype, is the most passionate of all the 12 signs and the most intense. It is also the sign that tends to have the highest sex drive and is the most sexual. And it's the sign that is really about the soul merging level of commitment and intimacy. If you've seen my last video, I like to say a lot, it's very Morticia and Gomez Adams sort of intimacy and love. So Scorpio's influence encouraged us to dive deep beneath the surface and to face our vulnerabilities, because Scorpio is also about transformation, no BS, facing our fears. And Scorpio is also about death and rebirth. And it's about transmuting that dark to light and facing our demons and confronting our deeper desires or fears we hold in relationships. So, this is a time where a lot of people are telling me they're feeling, how do I say this in a YouTube appropriate way? They're feeling more seeking of passion, craving of passion, of intimacy, more passionate, and more kind of, craving for a lot of moments and experiences like that. But it's also a time that you might find, people from the past or thoughts from the past, thoughts of people from the past creeping forward, either bringing things up for you to want to process, or maybe chances for renewal and rebirth. For singles, this energy could prompt you to reflect on past relationships or patterns that you've outgrown. You might also feel drawn to pursue a relationship with more emotional depth, more passion, more intensity, more intimacy. And look out for someone mysterious or intriguing that might be sparking your interest in a powerful way. This is the time where you're really drawn to that energy, even though if you're normally not. Couples, this is an ideal time to reconnect on a soul level with your partner, to have those deeper conversations, to express vulnerabilities, and to allow intimacy to grow. Some couples might decide to start fresh and work through unresolved issues to move forward together. And some couples might be taking their passion and intimacy on the next level and maybe exploring other types of soul merging intimacy, like sacred sexuality, tantra, etc. We have Mercury entering Sagittarius on November 2nd, which is the day after the new moon. By the way, I'm definitely posting this after November 2nd, so if you're listening to this, it's already entered Sagittarius. This energy is all about open communication and broad perspectives, which is really going to shape how we express ourselves in love. For singles, you might feel a pull towards adventurous or unconventional dating. You might also feel a pull towards maybe exploring travel some way, and maybe travel will open new romance for you. Or you might be feeling like a lot of the people that you've been getting to know, they don't kind of understand you on a philosophical, spiritual, life views level, and that's something that you start to crave more in your romance life. This could be a great time for long distance connections or meeting someone from a different background. Conversations, this brings an energy of conversations being honest and open, but be mindful about being blunt, because Mercury in Sag does not hold back and does not know at all how to walk on eggshells. For couples, this transit will encourage you and your partner to have honest, very expansive conversations about your future. If you've been considering travel or a shared experience, this is the time to discuss it openly. But just remember that we're already in Mercury's shadow period, starting soon by the time this is posting on November 6th. So try to avoid jumping to conclusions in communication, because Mercury retrograde is starting at the end of the month. Now, the third big transit happening this month, actually, I'm going to combine these two together. These are two pretty big ones, and you're going to see videos going into all signs for these, is Juno will be entering Scorpio, and Mars will be entering Leo on November 3rd. Now, if you've watched my last video, you've heard me say that I work a lot with my clients, whether it comes to their charts or forecasting, with asteroids and also Arabic points. And these are celestial elements that I think a lot of other astrologers either overlook or undervalue in terms of their profound impact. And Juno is an asteroid, and it's possibly my favorite, because if you know me, you know I love love. And Juno is the Roman name of the Greek Hera, who was the wife of Zeus. And she also is the goddess of the hearth. And Juno in astrology represents marriage and also represents fidelity. And it is said that Juno represents the life partner, whether you believe in marriage or not, but I'm going to talk in marriage terms. Your marriage partner that the universe has you contracted to marry at your highest vibration, but it also tells the story for people who have been married more than once of their first marriage, astrologers often say. But overall, Juno represents kind of life partner energy that is good for you. And so Juno on a chart will tell me a lot about a person, but now I'm talking about Juno transiting in the sky. So you can tell it's a big deal when we see what Juno is doing. And Mars is the planet of passion. It's the planet, Mars is the god of war. And so Mars also rules passion, it rules anger, it rules confrontation, but it also rules ambition, and it rules action. Mars entering Leo, which is a fire sign, is really talking about a lot of action, whether it's passion and emotions flying, or it can also be in terms of anger. Sorry if you can hear that. That's the garbage truck nearby. Okay, so for singles, this is a very powerful combination for magnetic attraction. You may encounter someone who feels almost fated or who sparks intense feelings. Mars in Leo is also encouraging bold action. Mars in Leo is very much act first, think later, talk first, think later, do first, think later. So if you've been eyeing someone, this is a great time to make a move, but you kind of might be seeing this type of Leo impulsivity around you in terms of people approaching you, texting you, hitting on you, people making very proud, audacious, ballsy, and very impulsive moves. And with Juno entering Scorpio, that adds a very deep level to that fire. Like Leo fire is more kind of explosive and high level. Scorpio fire is that blue fire of Hades. It is that intense fire that all other fire erupts from. And Scorpio demands to dive deeper than the surface level. So this is a combination of energy that the collective is feeling when it comes to love. Taking quick, fast actions, saying things that have been held back, saying what's on their mind, saying and acting first, thinking later, but also demanding more than the surface level, but also, again, how do I say this and be YouTube appropriate? It's a lot of passionate, sexual, sensual energy and intensity. So if you're feeling like, what the hell is happening? Where is all of this coming from? You will also, singles, you'll be feeling a deeper yearning for for this kind of intensity and soul merging. Couples, apply all of that to what I said, and then apply it with that intensity and passion and intimacy to deepen commitment. Juno and Scorpio really encourages you to explore loyalty and devotion in your partnership. And Mars and Leo brings romance and fiery passion and a lot of action, making this an amazing period for rekindling that spark, and also a period for taking commitment to the next level, a period that really takes away feeling shy or being hesitant, makes people come forward, makes people communicate, this kind of stuff. If you're in a long-term relationship, don't be surprised if topics like exclusivity or marriage start coming up, but also be mindful of, again, Mars is also conflict, right? And Leo is not conflict avoidant very much at all. They're very confrontational and they can get hot-headed. So keep that in mind as well. We also have Venus entering Capricorn on November 11th. And I want to say again, I said this at the beginning, but these are major transits happening in terms of love that'll affect everyone's love life. And when I saw so many love-related transits in November, I wanted to make a video just for this, but to really understand the deeper impact on your love life, it's really an all signs forecast is the next level. And then for each of these transits, and I'm talking about a lot of them, and then deeper than that is really your natal chart to really understand. So when you're thinking of this yourself, of course, I'm going to upload as many videos as I can, doing an all signs for some of these transits. But when you're thinking about this for yourself, you should really think about, okay, how is this, what is this touching in my chart? What house is it activating? What other planets or celestial points or elements is this transit aspecting? Which means it's like energetically activating, whatever that is. And that will really give you an idea of how this is affecting you in your life. Of course, you can also book a reading with me. And listen to the end of this for info on my free giveaway. But this will still give you an understanding if you're feeling this collective energy still on a high level of, well, okay, why am I feeling like this? This will explain a lot of that. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Venus is entering Capricorn on November 11th. Venus is the planet of love. And also if we're talking outside of this video, it's also the planet of beauty. It's the planet that also talks about values. And it's the planet of money and finances. And well, one of the planets that rules that. And Venus is moving into practical, grounded Capricorn, which brings a more serious tone to relationships, a more grounded tone, a more earthy tone. For singles, Venus in Capricorn may bring romantic interests who are looking for something long-term and stable, or it might awaken this energy more into you. You might feel drawn to people who are dependable, mature, goal-oriented. If you've been seeing someone, but it's situationships or very flaky, you might be feeling like this is not working for me anymore, or I want something more grounded. This is a great time to think about what you truly want in a partner and whether they align with your long-term goals. But Capricorn is an earth sign, and so this is also a great time for planting seeds in a lot of ways. And approaching love in a kind of more serious and commitment-centric in a grounded, practical way energy. For couples, an established relationship, Venus in Capricorn can really strengthen your bond, especially if you're both committed to building a stable future. This transit is really encouraging you to set realistic goals as a couple and to work on any structural aspects of the relationship that need reinforcement, and to really this could be a lot of things happening where you either could be feeling the call or having the conversations or taking the actions of doing things like buying a home together, moving in together, talking about finances, talking about meeting family, talking about kind of the serious aspects of long-term relationship, like kids and religion and finance split and bills and all this sort of stuff. And so that could be calling forward, having more of a grounded energy. And we also have Saturn Retrograde ending on November 5th. Now, again, this, I keep saying this, but how this is going to impact you specifically will be chart specific. But Saturn is a planet that brings a lot of lessons, but is also a planet of commitment and seriousness and no BS. And oftentimes, wherever it moves on the chart and how it moves, again, it comes with those teachings and with that call of responsibility and commitment. A lot of the times it comes in first with chaos, shaking things up, and then forcing more seriousness when it comes to wherever it goes on your chart. So mid-month, Saturn ends its retrograde, which will bring a deep sense of clarity finally and moving forward movement to issues that may have felt stuck or restrictive. For singles, you may find yourself finally breaking free from past patterns that held you back in love. If there's been a recurring theme or lesson you've been grappling with, Saturn finally going direct could bring clarity on what you need to change or let go of. For singles who are more commitment phobic, so singles that have been the running away type, the ones who've been leaving heartbreakers along the way, maybe you know someone like this. Saturn retrograde ending, like during their Saturn retrograde, they may have run away. They may have had a lot of lessons, and Saturn retrograde ending and finally going direct, you might be seeing a lot of people who have learned their lessons and are suddenly wanting to apply the lessons to real life and go forward and learn from the mistakes they've made and finally commit to things. I'm not saying this to make anyone believe, I don't want to encourage like holding on to false hope, but you may genuinely be finding people who in the past were running away from that Saturnian energy of responsibility and commitment. You may find them having come back and this is hard phrasing, and have learned their lessons. Tongue twister. Couples, if your relationship has felt stagnant or weighed down by practical issues, or you guys have not that Saturn energy has been bringing up a lot of hard conversations and confrontation, Saturn moving direct can finally bring relief. It's a time to move forward, and it's also a time for greater commitment and greater clarity. And it's the calm after the storm. So couples who have been weathering challenges during the retrograde may feel a renewed sense of purpose and unity now. And also what I was saying about if singles had any experience with someone they were seeing who's also a single that's been running away from commitment, similarly applied to couples. If you've been dealing with some kind of one partner starting to act a little bit commitment phobic, or issues with lessons about commitment has been coming up, like maybe they are ready, but they're not understanding what's required. They need to learn compromise, things like that. You will find that Saturn going direct will bring more peace there and a deeper level of commitment. Now on November 15th, we have the full moon in Taurus. And that is the same day as Saturn going direct. I don't know if I mentioned that. That's also November 15th when Saturn retrograde ended. So that's November 15th is going to be a powerful day because full moons, and of course there is going to be an all signs forecast video. Stay tuned for that, for the full moon. But for November 15th is going to be a big day because it's these two energies hitting at once. And then just 4 days before that, on November 11th, Venus will have entered Capricorn. And then 10 days after that, Mercury will be in retrograde. So we'll be in retrograde shadow then. And then on November 19th, we have Pluto entering Aquarius, which is a big deal. Okay. So around the 15th, I really expect a lot of events, not just in love, but it seems like it's going to be kind of an explosive time. Full moons tend to come with, endings, but not just endings, because endings bring new beginnings. And I kind of feel that full moons act in a way that is very external, means it's reflected in the reality. It's not just internal shifts, but can also bring internal shifts. So later on that same day after Saturn goes direct, the full moon in Taurus will really highlight comfort, sensuality, stability. Taurus is ruled by Venus, so this energy encourages us to ground ourselves in love and in value. For singles, this full moon could illuminate what you truly value in a partner. You might experience a desire to prioritize emotional security and to avoid superficial connections. You may meet someone who appreciates the finer things in life, and this connection could feel like a breath of fresh air. You could also have a sudden ending in a way that for something that's not serving you. I want to say again, stay tuned for the all signs forecast because, I'm again for this is collective focusing on love, but this full moon, depending on where it hits on your chart, It doesn't have to be about love, and how it'll hit you specifically will be different. For couples, this Taurus full moon energy can be very romantic and indulgent, encouraging you to slow down and enjoy each other's presence. It's a wonderful time for a cozy date night or any activity that allows you to feel secure and appreciated in your partnerships. Again, check your chart for where this full moon might be bringing culminations, endings, or endings of cycles. And for both singles and couples, look back 6 months ago to when we had the new moon in Taurus in May, and this could be ending a cycle or a theme or lessons that started around then. On November 19th, Pluto enters Aquarius. This is the shift that a lot of astrologers have been talking about the whole entire year. And again, I'm saying this is a love collective forecast for November, but Pluto entering Aquarius, if you're an astrologer listening to this, you're probably laughing. Pluto entering Aquarius is so much more than any of that. This video is just focusing on love, but this is a collective shift. And honestly, even though this is a love video, I'm recording this the day after the US elections. Pluto entering Aquarius is, with the timing of the elections, this happening on November 19th, it also is talking a lot about what's going to happen collectively, not just in the US, obviously, right? I didn't grow up here, but I'm here now. But the whole entire world. This energy, but bringing this back to love, like to this video, this energy could change too how you approach love and relationships on a broader scale. Pluto represents our deepest fears, weaknesses, desires, are demons, traumas, but Pluto is Hades, right? It's the underworld. It's also death, but with that archetype comes the archetype of the phoenix rising from the ashes. That's why in modern astrology, Pluto rules Scorpio. So Pluto is about a rebirth. It's about a rising from the ashes. And it's about transmuting the dark into light. And because love is such a vulnerable thing, and love is a thing that humbles everyone. It humbles everyone from the most powerful politician to the most cold-hearted person. Love will get you, and love will humble you, and love will make you silly, and love will burst open your heart. And love is the transformational force that can change the world. And Pluto is about a lot of that. It's about transformation. It's about force. So I think Pluto entering Aquarius, even though this is a transit that will last years, I mean, over a decade, but you'll feel it this month because Pluto has been in the critical degree of Capricorn. It went retrograde, and then it went direct. And now it's totally shifting signs. So because of how Pluto impacts the collective and thus individuals on this super deep piercing level, I do think that you might feel a shift in terms of that. So singles, you might start to notice shifts in how you perceive love and connection. There may be a pull towards unconventional, unique, or profound relationships with an emphasis on individuality and freedom because of that Aquarian vibe. This is a time to explore new types of connections or even challenge ways you may have thought before. But it's also a time to you'll be probably seeing internal shifts. This is for couples too, in yourself in terms of how you connect to others, and in terms of you versus the unit, your view of what it means to exist in a unit. Couples, apply what I just said right there. This transit could bring a need for reinvention, either internally or externally, and it really encourages both partners to explore what freedom and innovation and being in a unit means for them. It's also a time for each partner to pursue personal growth and strengthen the relationship. I want to say again, this is a long transit. Pluto moves very slowly. The only reason I'm bringing it up this month is because this is the month that it changes signs. So it is a big deal. And it happens to be happening when other transits that affect love happen. Again, this is a love video, but the meaning of Pluto going into Aquarius is way bigger. Okay, so then we also have Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius beginning November 25th. And the shadow period would have started around 7 to 12 days before. So my math is off then, I think. That would not be today. Would that? Okay, I'm going to pause right. Yeah, it would not be today. So that means Mercury shadow period, even though you might be feeling it beginning of November, but it will really start around the second week of November. So towards the end of the month, when Mercury goes retrograde in Sagittarius, this retrograde can impact communication and can lead to misunderstandings. So it's a good time to be mindful of that in relationships. Again, how it'll impact your chart is going to change things. Look forward to the all signs video I'll do on that. And, you know, Mercury impacts other things too, like technology and communication outside of love. But this is a love video. For singles, Mercury retrograde very often brings people from the past back into our lives. So if you're single, you may reconnect with an old flame or feel the urge to reach out to someone you lost touch with. AKA, you could be the ex that returns from that returns from the dead and haunts the next person. I'm just teasing. Or again, someone can return for you. Just remember that clarity may be clouded until the retrograde ends. So think kind of clearly. And if you're getting messages from people and you find yourself having kind of like very brash, sudden reactions, just tell yourself to calm down and sleep on it before reacting in an impulsive way that might not be the best. For couples, be cautious again as well with communication during this period. Avoid making hasty decisions or assuming things about your partner's intentions. Instead, focus on understanding each other more deeply and really use this time to reflect on your shared vision. This could definitely be a time of more misunderstandings and more feelings of feeling unstable, but just remember that this time will pass, and Mercury goes in retrograde pretty often. So it's really nothing to fear, but look for the all signs video that will come soon to give you more detail about how it'll affect you specifically. Okay, now we have another asteroid, Pallas, entering Capricorn on November 30th. I'm going to do a whole video on all the different asteroids so you become more familiar with them, since a lot of astrologers don't use them. But finally, as this month ends, this Pallas will move into Capricorn. This asteroid governs wisdom and strategy, so it encourages a more practical, grounded approach to love. So singles, this is really going to, because remember, we had Venus move into Capricorn as well. So this is going to further strengthen that energy. It's like building it on top. So singles, you may start to think even more strategically about your dating life in a practical way. If you've been dating casually, this transit, just like the Venus one, it's going to make you way more selective. It's going to make you seek partners who align with your long-term values or goals. And it's going to make you kind of demand and ask for more. And for couples, for those in committed relationships, Pallas in Capricorn helps you take a proactive approach to problem solving, to building seeds. If there have been any challenges, this energy brings wisdom and insight, encouraging you to work together towards long-term stability. So November, there is a lot of big transits happening that impact love life. That makes it truly a transformational month for love, which is why I wanted to make this video. With each of these transits, we're called to dive deeper, communicate more openly, and build stability in our connections. It's looking to me like a lot of new beginnings, endings, but also a lot of calls for shedding away things that are not aligned. I hope this collective forecast helps you navigate the energies of the month, whether you're single or in a relationship. Let me know in the comments how these themes resonate for you, and if you like this video, and please listen to the last one. My channel is brand new, so it means so much and it helps me so much if you like, subscribe, share, and comment. Truly appreciate it, but it also keeps me going. I just got started, but and on top of that, I'm actually running a special. So if you subscribe and comment on a video, you get entered to win a free reading. Actually, I've decided, instead of doing one free reading for 30 followers, when I get 30 subscribers, I'm going to do 2 free readings for when I hit 30 subscribers. And that is, again, if you subscribe and comment. So please do that to win your 60-minute free astrology deep dive. And you can use that chart reading for absolutely anything. Thank you so much, and stay tuned for the videos coming later this month.